Hey guys, Wendy with MobiliQuest here, and with us today is Marcella Genut. Marcella, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you. I'm honored to be here with you, Wendy.
I want to talk a little bit about your background. Marcella has a Bachelor of Arts in Public Relations, a certificate in both Communication Studies and Disability Studies from the University of Georgia. Since graduation, Marcella has worked for the Center of Disease Control and ESP, Extra Special People, from Watkinsville, Georgia. She is currently a full time academic advisor for the University of Georgia and has her own business, which is MG College Consulting. Marcella, again, thank you so much for joining us today. And I just want to ask, please tell us what you do at the university and tell us about your consulting company.
Yeah. So I actually work for UGA within the college that I graduated from, which is Grady College of Journalism and Mass Communication. So I advise students that are incoming first year students or transfer students or prospective students that are in high school to learn more about Grady College. So it's been really fun to share my enthusiasm and story of Grady College to other families and do a lot of different recruiting events and things like that. So I'm technically the prospective student advisor and just really love interacting with prospective families and students. So that's what I do typically Monday through Friday.
Nice. So tell me about your consulting business.
Yeah, so pretty much when I went to the University of Georgia, if you have a disability or chronic illness or anything or other needs to consider when you're trying to get to college, there really aren't any resources out there to kind of guide you in that process of how to achieve the dreams that you want and be able to live independently in college. So if it wasn't honestly for my friends that had recently graduated college that I knew with the same disability as mine, who also went to the University of Georgia, I wouldn't have been able to go and attend school there, which was about 2 hours away from my home. So while most students in high school were trying to figure out, maybe what sorority they would want to join or what their major would be, I had to focus on how am I physically going to live in a new place? How am I going to manage my own care, get my prescriptions and my therapies, and make my schedule work? So it was a really, really stressful time for me. But thankfully, with my mom's support, she really taught me how to be independent and self advocate through all of that. So I made sure when I was touring different colleges that I would meet with each disability resource center, investigate all the resources that specific town had provided that I could utilize while I was living there. And so with all of that, I felt really successful at college. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life, and I been pretty involved in like just the disability advocacy world. And so, a lot of my friends who were younger were also struggling and wanted to go to college as well. And so, I kind of helped show them the way, like others had done before for me. And within college, at my current job at UGA, I had other students that come up to me with physical disabilities asking questions like, how could they recruit for caregivers? And I met with a few incoming first year students as well, and I realized what a gap that was for students coming into college with disabilities. I saw that there really weren't any resources to help transition students to living on their own, and it was a really frustrating and stressful time for not only the parents but the students as well. And a lot of times, some families wouldn't even try or give up for their student to really go to their dream college or go to their dream major. So I just really wanted to bridge that gap and provide that resources and like share my knowledge that I've gained throughout the years on how to live independently. And so I help students with physical disabilities in high school transition to college, um, mainly teaching sort of life skills that go beyond college because life does continue after college. So I work a lot with like self advocacy skills, independence, how to be a great manager for your personal care attendants, how to recruit people, and just a bunch of other different kind of independent living skills like that. So I currently am just doing a lot of public speaking. I work with school systems to educate teachers on how to really encourage their students with disabilities to go to college. When I was in high school, teachers told me I would never go to college or move away from home or, really live away. And so I really want to change that for future educators and kind of show them the process of all that it takes for a student with a disability to go to college. It's a lot more challenges and things to figure out as opposed to the average student. And just be that support for the parents and student and teachers. So I mainly just work with families and students and kind of point them to different resources. I've worked with a few nonprofits on doing webinars and things like that about different resources, even financial planning about like the stable account or resources such as like different Medicaid waivers and things like that. I won't necessarily am qualified to walk, families through that whole process, but I just know of a lot of different resources out there for students that can help point to families in that direction. And hopefully also be in touch with other people that can be mentors to them as well, with a similar disability that have gone through the same thing as they have. So my hope is really just to make the world, a more inclusive place for students with disabilities in the higher academic region. And then I feel like with more students with disabilities attending college, that will really just in turn affect the world because more people with disabilities will be out in the world having jobs, being within their community, sharing their viewpoints, and will overall just make a huge difference on how people see people with disabilities just in general. So that's my big dream, I guess.
Nice. I love that you mentioned the teachers too, because the teachers, if they don't know, if they are unfamiliar with what's available for students, then that's very limiting. That's a very limiting belief on their part, and that's something that they would then, of course, they would need to learn so that they can do better for their students. So that's important that you reach out to them as well. So that's great. So tell people, how do we get in touch with you if someone wants to work with you, if someone has a child that's going to be transitioning, or if the person themselves want to reach out, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I can be reached at my email, which is Marcella, Marcella, Genut, Genut, consulting at gmail.com. Or on my website, there's an easy contact me form you can fill out as well to get in touch with me. So there's the two main ways. I'm also on in, in LinkedIn and Instagram and things like that, if you are as well. But I also blog. I'm a really fond of writing and sharing my story and things like that. So feel free to check out my blog if you want, just on a variety of topics and just ways of that I keep active in the community and want to share with others. To there's life beyond just having a goal and career or just living. I really want people with disabilities to live a fulfilling life outside of their homes and be active in the community. And I also have a page called In the News, and that's where you can see all of my other webinars that I've done in public speaking. I've spoken on behalf of a few articles as well and shared my expertise with them. So if you have any more questions about the kind of things I can do, feel free to check that out as well.
Perfect. Thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I do want to say, before we go, um, thank you personally for the information that you have provided in your blogs, because I have been reading them. And I love the one, of course, I told you about that. I love the one about Cloud and Canyon and the action track chairs, because I just think that's a wonderful program to be able to get people out into nature that may not otherwise be able to get out there and enjoy it in the way that you can with the action track chairs. Are wonderful. And also the one that you did about inclusive language. was really informational and impactful for me, just to make sure that I'm more aware of, of of how I'm saying what I want to say, and absolutely not be offensive or in any way. I just want to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do and saying it how I need to say it. So, because that's exactly what MobiliQuest is all about. We want to make sure that we're getting great information and great resources out there. And, I definitely want to make sure that I do that in the proper way. So I do appreciate that very much. And I love the way that when you write, your openness is there. You're just so open and honest in your writing, and that is also very impactful. That is very moving. So I appreciate that very much.
Thank you, Wendy, and I appreciate you sharing information that is so needed for people with disabilities, because it is so difficult to find resources and even do fun things like the action track chair, which is so fun. Highly recommend everyone do it. And I am in no way an expert on all disabilities or, the sayer of everything, as disability is a huge range of different experiences and beliefs of different people. But I just like to share my story and hope it resonates with others. So thank you.
Yeah, awesome. All right. Well, thank you so much again, Marcella, for joining us today on this call. And I really, really, really appreciate your time. So thank you very much. And guys, thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.
Thanks.